hello, and welcome to the Connecting Point. I am Dr. Marcy, your facilitator for this discussion today, and this is the place where creators connect to inspire, share their ideas and stories to transform the world through raw and unedited talk. Well, I have a homeboy with me today, a dear friend of mine. He is returning to the Connecting Point to give us an update because he has so much going on that I thought this would be a wonderful time to discuss it. Plus, we're approaching the holidays, and he can give us some tips and help regarding cooking for that family for Christmas. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. Welcome back to the Connecting Point, Mr. Jonathan, quote, Shae Brumby.
Awesome. It's glad to see you guys again. Glad to be back. You know, and just reflecting back on the year, it's been an amazing journey since the last time we talked.
Yeah, and you know, Shae, I got to get y'all, I'm going to call him Shae because that's how we grew up. His name is Jonathan, but hey, Shae is what it is with me.
Yes.
But I have to give a Connecting Point, thus the name of this platform. Well, Shae here, like I said, he's a homeboy. He is from my hometown, Athens, GA.
Yes.
We went to school together. I think elementary, middle, and high, didn't we? Okay.
We pretty much went from kindergarten all the way through high school.
All the way. Our mothers were friends, so we know each other quite well. And he's now in Alabama, right?
Oh yeah, he's in Alabama.
So we're gonna get into some good talk and discussion about what's going on with you, and then you're gonna help us out for Christmas. How about that?
Hey, sounds great to me. Sounds great.
Shae, tell the audience what is going on. I've already told where you're from, where you are now, which is Alabama, yes. But kind of get us up to speed as to where you started and up to now. Okay,
good deal. Well, and Marcy calls me Shae because that is actually my middle name. So I went with Chef Shae as my culinary arts name or my chef name. But like I said, we've been knowing each other since we were kids, elementary, probably kindergarten. But our moms knew each other, and both of them are great cooks.
Yes.
So my mom, would teach me how to cook different meals. And as I got older, I was the one cooking Thanksgiving dinner, holiday dinners, for my family when I was like in probably senior in high school and around college age. I would come back home and I would love to cook for them. So I told Mom, sit down, let me take care of this. And I started getting it in and started cooking. And actually, a few years after that, I started selling plates out of my house. Just it was a challenge from one of my siblings. Like, hey, I thought about doing it, and it was a challenge, and I thank God I took the challenge. And now that's been probably well over 10 years or more that that challenge came to me, and I stepped out on faith, really. And I was scared, but it happened, and it just took off. Started selling plates out of my house. Then I linked up with a few people that were restaurant owners. So I became partners with them for a while. Got learning how to run a restaurant, front end, back end. Actually got trained by a chef from Le Cordon Bleu during that time. So I had a one-on-one training from a chef from Le Cordon Bleu. So I learned what I learned from my mom on one side, then I learned the professional side. So I was able to mix those two together. And
I will say this. I got to say this point. I think I said the first time. Audience, the cool thing about all of this is I didn't know Shae cooked when we were in school.
Right, yeah, a lot of people did. Yeah, a lot of people did.
Tell that I don't know why he kept that secret, but I had no inkling.
Oh yeah,
that had aspirations for cooking.
I think it just came from being there with my mom, and she always cooked. And my friends from high school, they would come over and eat on Sundays. We would hang out and play football or do whatever. But I think just by being there with her, she kind of showed me a lot as far as the cooking side and business side as well. It was like it was like twofold. You know, I learned business and cooking at the same time. And I think when I left home is really when it kind of took off because I had to cook for
Yeah,
myself.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like me, Shae. You know, I know your mom, she may have been like my mother, although I didn't put my hands in the pot while she was doing it.
Right.
I was learning so much just being in her vicinity.
Right. Right.
So when I did get on my own, I went back into my memory bank and what I had observed from my mother, not just my mother, my grandmothers too, who were cooks. All right. And they were used to cooking for large groups of people.
Right.
And so we center a lot of our family fellowship around food.
Yeah.
You know, in the African American community, that's what we do anyway.
Yes.
We
Yes,
eat.
indeed. Yeah. One thing
We
we gonna do.
eat.
That brings us together for sure.
Good food and good music.
Oh, there you go.
Will get us in there real good and don't add a good drink. Now we've shown enough in there.
That seals the deal. That just seals the
It
deal.
seals the deal. You understand? Well, Shae, I am certainly excited to hear about what's going on now.
Yes.
I see you're in your state of the art kitchen.
Oh yes, yes,
Last time you worked in, were you?
Well, that actually then when we shot the show last year, I was at my church at the
That's
time.
right. That's right. At your church, yeah.
So, yeah, I was there at their kitchen. It was a nice restaurant sized kitchen, but it's like now I have a full commercial kitchen. And the blessing is it came already prepared. Everything was here. I think the only thing we brought in was another fryer and maybe another freezer, but it had everything already in it when I stepped into this situation.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit because I think that will inspire so many people.
Yes.
Now, you just heard Mr. Brumby Shae say he was scared. You were scared when you first went off into all of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Why were you afraid?
I guess because it was really a new thing in my life, a new venture. I knew the video production world. I started my first business doing video production and photography, but cooking was more an at-home thing. You know, I would cook for my family, cook for my friends, but to be able to actually jump out there and like cook for, the community. I started a catering business. Your family, you receive it different when your family tell you something tastes good or if it doesn't taste good. But when the community, you're having it's like an extra challenge or not knowing cooking for other people outside of your family. And I always get on edge after I deliver the meal or do a presentation, waiting to hear back from the customer. It's like I'm on edge, always waiting to hear what their feedback was, how their taste, how just the whole presentation in itself. But I think I was scared because it was something new at the time.
Something new,
But it seemed like once I started doing it for a while and started getting a lot of positive feedback as well as constructive criticism is what I would call it. It's like I just kept building on that momentum and those learning experiences and, just kept it going and didn't get afraid to. I think after the initial start and just getting that feedback, it was like I started to get used to it, start getting used to cooking and bringing what I knew from home, as well as learning from the chef from the Cordon Bleu, who was a great help in my life. It's like I just had to keep it going and just not be afraid, just step into it and just keep doing it.
Well, I can certainly tell you that, the event that you did for me, how good it felt to have your own homie cooking up the food. It was excellent. It was beautiful display of what you did with the culinary arts. And I'm really in awe at what God has done from that point. That was just was that a year or two ago?
Yeah, it was about a year or so ago, I believe.
About a year or so ago. What he has done from that point in your life up until now.
Yes, that was a great day in my life as well, to be able to come back and talk to people in my community, my classmates, it was almost like having a class reunion of sorts.
Reunion, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
being able to, cater to them and show them, what I've learned over the years as far as my culinary arts.
And I
Just
heard
how we
you
talk
went back
about.
to you went back to our high school recently too, didn't you? Did you do
Yes,
break?
yeah. Oh gosh, that was another great highlight. I was able to go back to our high school
Yeah.
and cater the Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Mhm.
And that was the first time I've been back to our high school since. Well, we graduated in '89, but that's the first time I actually went inside the school and was able to
Inside.
walk around. Besides just going there to a football game, so it was like a real flashback and a real it was just an honor to be able to serve the inductees, and some of them were my classmates as well.
Wow, that's special. Well, listen, I know about you being afraid. You've already launched off into it. Now, tell about all this magnificent stuff God has done, because good God Almighty,
Yes, yes, yes. Well,
and
yes,
how He orchestrated it. I just want the audience to hear
right,
how
right.
it
Well,
all of this was strategically done by God
oh yeah,
without
it
you
was.
totally knowing.
Mm,
But
it was definitely a journey. Yeah.
go ahead and tell it.
Well, but I don't even know where to start. But I'll start with this. Well, part of my testimony is I just acquired a 12,000 square foot multi-purpose facility,
Mhm.
and it has two ballrooms. One will hold 65 guests. The other side will hold 350 guests, and it has this full commercial kitchen that you see behind me. So it had everything already in it. And we closed on the building. My investors, God strategically planned that as well. I linked up with some investors early part of this year. And before this even happened, I was already at this particular building trying to host functions and do catering events. Well, at the time, it was owned by a different set of owners. I couldn't do events on Saturdays or Fridays, which was the main time that I wanted to. But just being here like a year prior, I asked God. I said, God, I want the building was for sale at the time also, so I was here already. So I asked God. I said, God, I want this building, but I don't want to have to pay for it.
Say
I
that
know.
again.
And
You
I
told
said,
God what you wanted.
I
You were
stepped out there.
specific.
Yes, I asked God. I stepped
Uh-huh.
out there on the big thing because he always. I've heard so many sermons and so many teachings saying, ask God for the big thing. He
Yes.
owns a cattle on 1,000 hills. There's nothing He won't grant you if it's His will. So I stepped out on it on faith, and I asked God. I said, God, I want this building, and I don't want to have to pay for it. Because I'm like, I didn't. In the natural, I didn't have
Yeah.
what it costs to buy this building.
Mhm.
But God put people in my path and in my life that the investors that I met, He linked me up with them well over a year ago, and we reunited this year. Like I said, we closed on the building in April, but the investors I met, they ended up buying the building. So it's like God put it right in my lap, and I was
He
over
set it
here.
up. He
Yeah,
set it
he
up.
set this up over a year ago, and I never knew. I was working here, and my investors, we met on a whole nother facility. It wasn't even about this place, but I had been here, and I submitted my business plan to the real estate agent, not knowing the real estate agent knew the same investor. So she submitted my business plan to the investors, and they loved it. So they brought me in, and everything just started falling in place. Uh, I'm in the building, and like I said, God gave me the building without having to pay for it. It's not, So I'm like, thank God, they're trusting me enough to run the facility, run the kitchen, and do catering, teaching. I'm starting to, I was teaching cooking classes last time we talked as well,
Mhm.
but now I can, instead of me traveling to Nashville and different places, I can also do my cooking classes here at Huntsville at my kitchen. I also have the space, as far as doing it out in the facility inside the ballrooms. The facility came fully stocked with tables, chairs. It's like everything was just set in place. I think the only thing we really had to do was do a little painting, clean up the place, uh, you know, clean the carpet. Other than that, everything was, it's like I walked into everything I asked God for.
Oh my, you walked into
Yeah, that's the step right
everything
into it.
you
Just
asked
not being afraid, just stepping on it, standing on his word. He said, Deuteronomy, part of Deuteronomy 28 is manifesting in my life. So
yeah. Well, you know what? I'm gonna recap this for the people in the back that might didn't get what you said. First of all, there was a little bit of fear, which is natural when you're
yeah,
going into something new. Nothing
hmm
wrong with that. We all have experienced it, and we
right.
experience it as we go from newness to newness.
hmm
However, fear did not stop you from moving forward, correct? So
Right,
you
exactly.
went blind. Let's say
Yeah,
that. You went blind. That means you went on faith.
yeah, I did. I
Okay.
did.
I'm just laying that carpet out for y'all.
Oh
You
yeah,
went on
yeah.
faith. As he was moving,
hmm
he put in a request. You put in a request, a specific request to God
hmm
of what you wanted. And then you kept working
Yes.
in it, not even knowing you were already in
hmm
what you were about to possess.
Right, right, right,
Okay, did y'all hear that? Already in what he was about to possess.
right. And this happened over a year ago. And I would say within a year of me
I
speaking
love
it,
it. I love
it happened. It happened within a year. Well
it.
within a year. It hadn't even been, April was my 1 year anniversary, so it happened before April. It happened before I even
Wow.
had, before the 1 year anniversary.
And now, since you're in that thing that you requested, you're seeing more things come out of it, right?
Very much so. I mean, I had to like just sit back, from time to time, just write out a list of things that God did. Since this facility, like I said, it's a multi-purpose facility. It's not just for catering.
Mhm.
I'm gonna show you guys something. I was able to get my food permit just within the last week
Uh-huh.
because I have a commissary kitchen. I was able to get my permit, and like I said before, my first business was a video production and photography and audio visual production services. So now I can actually run my AV company also out of my same business. So I got my my AV business license as well, my audio video production business license. I'll also be able to use that when I'm not catering, and even when I am catering,
Mhm.
because God even showed me how to create my staff, become a government contractor with my video production services, as well as my culinary art services and photography. I have room here for a photography studio. I'm also looking at. I'm a certified audio engineer, so I have room here also for a audio studio, for a music studio. So that's one of the things that may be manifesting as well. Um, I have so much space to work with. It's like God has allowed me to utilize the talents that He has given me over the years, everything that I learned, whether it been on the job or whether it been in college. I have a telecommunications degree, architecture degree, and the culinary arts. So
Mhm.
He's allowed me the things that I went to school for it, and actually got a formal education, as well as what I learned, hands on, to be able to, bring it three, full circle, and do all of them as a business. And
Well,
I can do all of them at one out of one facility.
listening to you talk, I'm reminded of something I said to God recently. I said to God, I said, you're emptying everything out of me. It's like
Yeah,
I wouldn't say emptying, he's pulling every gift
yes, yes,
that
yes.
was in me that was maybe laying dormant, and
Right, right,
he's causing me to use every single one of them during this time.
right. Oh yeah, yeah.
Why, I don't totally know, but I
hmm
do know I had so much in me that I had pushed to the side,
Right.
to focus on maybe one or two areas. But during this time, God said, no, take it all, expose it all.
Yes, yes,
Do
yes.
not hide any of it.
Right.
Expose it all. And so I'm seeing you exposing it all. God is exposed. It's not us. God
Yes.
is exposing it all. There was a season of hiding or preparation. Okay. There was a season of preparation. Just like you prepare meals, you
Oh yeah.
might season up the meat and let it sit and
Yes.
marinate. But then when it finished marinating, you put it in the oven. Sometimes it gotta still cook a little slow.
Right, right.
Okay. But when that meat comes out of that oven,
It's a
it is
masterpiece.
good, good, and more good.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay. And so
Oh, yeah.
it's the same with us. There's a season of hiding. Sometimes God will, you'll wonder, why, Lord? I'm not, doesn't seem like I'm moving. Nobody knows what I'm doing. I'm working hard. Well, you're preparing.
Yes, it
And
is.
once that preparation is to the liking of God, he's satisfied with it, not us,
Yeah.
him.
Oh yeah. Yes. And
Then he will
oh,
release it to the
yeah.
world.
Yes, exactly. And that's exactly what he's doing. And
Yeah, yeah,
he's
that's what he's doing.
using us to be able to do his will.
That's it.
And what I realized in this process is not about, like you just said, it's not about us.
At
I
all.
realized what we're doing is for other people.
Yes.
We're not the only ones doing what we're doing. I'm not the only one eating my food. You're not the only one who's teaching, that's learning the music industry and learning how to play the piano and everything, all the instruments that have been blessed to
Right.
learn how to play. And we can even say it's touching our offspring, our seed. Our
Yeah,
seed is
yeah.
learning from what we're are doing. Because my kids love to cook as well. So it's like what we're doing and the talent that God gave us, it's not just for us, it's for everybody.
It's for
It's not
that
for us to
is
just
so
sit on it.
important. That is so important. I'm glad you said that because so often we can look at what other people are doing, especially in this social media world, and you're looking at, oh, they just doing all this. It is not about the person.
No, not at
Now,
all.
and I know my assignment. I'm very clear. I am very clear on it. It
Right.
has nothing to do with me. I'm the
Yeah.
vessel. Now that I
Mhm.
can say. I am
Right.
the instrument being used at this
Mhm.
time, this season, to help
Right.
others.
Oh yeah.
And so I consider myself a destiny helper.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
God
Yes.
also
Yes.
sends me destiny helpers.
Right. He sends
Okay.
us help. Yeah. He
He
definitely
sends
sends us
us
help.
help. Okay. And it comes in all shapes, forms, and sizes,
Yeah.
all walks of life. Whatever
Mhm.
you need, God's got it.
Yes, he does. He does.
He's got it. So
Yeah. And
that your story is an example of that.
yeah.
And being patient and persevering. Um, and I know it wasn't always easy.
No, it wasn't.
I know it
It's
wasn't.
been plenty of times I'm like, God, I don't want to, this is a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to be able to prepare, food for, you know, it don't matter if it's 2 people or 500 people. It's almost just as much work. But you really have to have that passion and drive and that will to do it and know why you're doing it. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
not just for me. When I see people's faces light up, and when I see them when they are tasting my food, or if I'm doing a video production, to see the looks on their face when they're made that satisfied look, or that happy look, or whatever it is, that's what makes me know that, hey, what I'm doing is worth what I'm doing. And
And you're also, did you tell me you were doing something now, nonprofit,
right, right.
something with the community?
Oh yeah, I
Tell us
definitely want
about
to.
that.
Since I had such a great village, we talked about it takes a village to raise, a kid. that still holds true to me as an adult. I had a wonderful village, growing up. Your mom was part of my village. Like I said, our moms were friends, and it's like so many people were in my life still to this day. My village is still, still around, and I want to be part of someone else's village, moving forward. So what I'm looking into doing in the next few months is launching my nonprofit organization foundation with being able to teach kids, or even not just kids, but adults as well, but mainly kids, the culinary arts. Going into maybe disadvantaged neighborhoods or underprivileged, whatever the case may be, to be able to give those kids another way to express themselves. There's a lot of kids that know how to cook in different areas. I don't know if home ec is still a big part
You
of
know what? When we were in school, we had it. Yeah. We
I
had home economics.
Yeah, I loved home ec, and it was
Yes,
like
me
home ec and
too.
health was a
Oh
big
my,
part of it. I mean, I knew I got an A in that class because I loved it so much.
yeah.
Being able to be creative, whether
We
it
had
was,
Miss Varner though, didn't we?
yes, Miss Varner,
Miss
I
Varner
still
though.
remember that later to this day. I'm like, wow, I would love to just send her a letter or say, hey, thank you, because you
Yeah.
were a very intricate part of my, education. And I think that's probably kind of what sparked some things. It was a real interest back then in high school. Just didn't know because there was so much other stuff going on with football, and you're learning everything at the same time. So Ms. Barnado, thank you. If you get
Miss
a
Varner
chance to
though. I
do this,
remember.
yes, I'm like, that was, yeah, home ec was my thing. So I know I got an A.
Yes.
So
But
I would like to,
also the generation that what I'm seeing, let me not just say everybody, what I'm seeing
mhm.
is people don't know how to sew anyway. We had to learn how to sew
Yeah.
with a
Oh yeah.
needle.
Oh
Uh
yeah.
you had to learn how to prepare meals from scratch.
Right. Yeah. Oh
You know,
yes.
I even though we had home ec, I got home ec 101 at my house and at
Right.
my
Yeah.
grandparents'
I
house.
still know how
Okay.
to sew because of
So
that.
we had to cook things. Sometimes you might not have had any breakfast meat. That
Yeah.
was okay because my grandmama would split a hot dog down the middle and
Yes.
fry
Yes.
that hot dog on the side.
Oh yeah.
We might and make it do with the grits,
Yes,
okay?
indeed. Oh yeah.
Bologna fried on both sides. So we learned how to make
Hmm.
ends meet.
Right. Right.
Might not have
Yeah.
had things in the kitchen, but now I don't know how many folk.
Ooh, yeah.
I
I
don't know
mean,
how
like,
many folk doing it.
it's like, the kids won't have to wait for the parents to cook them something for breakfast before they go to school, or on Saturday morning, Sunday morning. They can get up and actually cook. What my thing is that, be able to cook a meal for themselves or their families, their siblings.
Mhm.
Be able to learn different ways to prepare things. It's like been plenty of days that, I'll find something in the refrigerator. It may not seem like it matched or go together, but by the time I finish,
I
putting it
have
together,
some right.
it definitely will make a meal.
Absolutely.
So I
It
would
was so
love to.
funny, Shae. This
Yeah.
past weekend, my children, we were sitting at, well, actually, I was at my parents' house, and my
Mhm.
children, we were talking about, when you come home from school, we didn't have microwaves.
Oh
If you
yeah.
wanted to warm up something, it's gonna have to go in the oven.
Yes.
And they were like, "What y'all doing?" I said, "No, we did not have
Nope.
microwave."
I still use the oven. As a matter of fact, I did it today. I did it earlier today. I didn't use the microwave. I had some collard greens, some corn, and some turkey. I'm like, oh, this going back in the oven. I'm not. No, I still use the oven. I'm still old school in a lot of ways. Yeah, I did it 2 days, as a matter of fact.
But if you think about it, our kids don't know. They don't.
Nah, you don't.
So I think that's a wonderful thing that you're getting ready to do. And like you said, there needs to be many ways that people can express themselves, and children need to learn there are many ways. And the
Right.
culinary arts is one of them.
Oh yes. Yes,
Okay.
it.
And it's nothing like cooking.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing like cooking and seeing people who enjoy it.
Right.
One of
Oh
my
yeah.
dearest friends enjoys cooking. So,
Yeah.
that's a wonderful thing to see.
Right, right. And I'm,
So now,
just
Shae,
thinking about it.
tell us a little bit about what the business entails and what you're getting ready to go into in addition to where you are now.
Well, with this particular business, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I'll start doing the cooking classes here. Of course, still doing catering and meal prep. Possibly looking at doing. I have a space to do. I could, excuse me, do a restaurant here at the same time. So it's just a matter of following God's lead and seeing how He wants me to, utilize the building as far as that restaurant or just still catering. I'm still praying about direction, seeing which direction I need to go because he's opened so many doors. I just need to make sure I open the right ones at the right time.
Yeah. Oh, say that. Listen, Shae, you gotta say that again.
Oh yeah,
I'm serious.
He's got a lot of doors. I just got to go to the right one at the right time.
At the right timing is everything.
Yes. Oh,
A lot of people don't get that either. It might be a good thing, but the wrong time.
Yeah, yeah. And I thought I was a patient person, but he's showing me so much, and I'm relearning or fine tuning how to be patient, and waiting on his lead and following what path he has for me. Because of course I have my own agenda of what I want to do, and I want to do it now. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm excited, but I try to keep that excitement and just use it as my energy to continue to do what I do, and to just continue to follow his lead. And not only with what I mentioned, but I have a sauce brand as well that I've been working on it for the last probably about 2 years. And that came from me watching the movie with Miss Walker. What's her name? Madam C.J. Walker.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and creating my sauce brand actually came from me watching the movie Madam C.J. Walker.
Self-made.
Yes, self-made. And I was carrying around my seasonings, when I come home to Georgia. My family and friends were like, "Where are you going with this whole box of seasoning?" So I started putting all my favorite seasonings in one, container, and I knew it was seasoned fish, beef, pork, whatever I needed. And I think we may have talked about this on the last show. I just happened to post that seasoning, that one thing that is like, this is my all-purpose seasoning, and people start asking, "How much is it?" I was like, I really didn't think about that, but I mean, okay, here it goes. It's for sale. So that sparked, that movie sparked my seasoning brand. So now I have two hot and mild all-purpose seasoning, and they are totally salt-free. I try to make it healthy, and I have 4 sauces. One is my original sauce, and this sauce has been in my family for over 50 years. My uncle blessed me with the ingredients. He sat me down and taught me how to make it. And I remember that sauce when I was 12 with him when I cooked my first hog on the grill. And they was making that sauce, and it had been in the family for years. And I was, talking to him like, "Oh, this sauce needs to be, everybody in the world needs to taste it." So he, we sat down and he blessed me with, he gave me the mantle to be able to take the ingredients and start creating a sauce. And from that, I created 3 more sauces: a white smoked barbecue sauce. I'm from Georgia, so I had to do a smoked Georgia peach sauce. Also doing a smoked molasses barbecue, and looking to doing. My mom made this awesome pepper jelly, so we're looking at launching a pepper jelly this coming within the next few months, and also a ginger-based steak sauce. I love ginger, and it's healthy for you as well.
Me too. You have to send me some of that.
Oh yeah, that ginger-based steak sauce it's in the lab right now. So I'm creating.
Well, let me know when you get finished.
Oh yeah, definitely will, and also we're launching our cookbook. We were trying to launch it during the holiday season, but I had so many. I was blessed to be busy during the holidays. I have so many catering weddings and different Thanksgiving and coming up with Christmas events. So we're looking to launch the cookbook in the spring, early part of the spring, and the cookbook will actually be my mom's handwritten recipe that came out of a shoebox. I actually I literally have a shoebox full of recipes. I have more than one. Me and my sister, my older sister, we divided the recipes. I'm getting all the ones, getting everything prepared for the initial launch. Then we're gonna trade out, and I'll get the rest of them because there are a lot. That
Wow, that's special.
recipes. So you'll see the actual handwritten recipes with food spilled on them and coffee and different stuff. But on the backside of it, it'll have like a printed out version, of the pictures and stuff like that. But it's like it'll be a throwback mixed with the modern.
I love it.
Real deal recipes. So, and I just looked at my mom's pepper jelly recipe last night because I'll probably start launching it for the Christmas holidays because that's one of the main times people,
like green. Is it the one that's green?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Remember chow chow and stuff like
that?
So,
yeah.
So I have recipes back from when I was a kid, and you can tell the paper's not even white. It's like a a tan looking color because it's aged, but it's still a relevant recipe. I was sitting up last night, sitting on the floor, going back to the shoebox, getting some of the recipes prepared for the cookbook.
Well, that's a prime example of bridging the old with the new. And I'm sure you're going to put your own spin on it eventually.
Oh, yes. Definitely. It'll definitely reflect that family, that family feel, that those real recipes that so many of our matriarchs and patriarchs have taken to the grave. And that was one of the things that inspired me. I'm like, the stuff that my mom cooked, and my family members were able to experience it. Some of my friends were able to experience it, over the years growing up. I'm like, I need the world to be able to taste this and see where I came from, why I became a chef, what inspired my life as up until this point, and how I can, even move forward with that. And just knowing that my mom was like, coming to my house back in the day was like going to Big Mama's house. You always knew you were gonna get something good.
Get something to eat. That's it.
A good conversation. It's always gonna be welcomed. And this cookbook and some of everything that really I'm doing was inspiration from how I grew up and my mom. And when I got my my food permit, within the last week or so, it was like I just had to sit there. I just sat there in my car.
I know.
And it was like I was sitting there having a spiritual conversation with my mom. I'm like, look, Mom, we did it. We're at this point where I can, I'm a professional caterer now. I have a food permit. And this opens so many doors where places that you would have to have a permit or whatever to be able to cater in those areas that are more of the upscale venues. It's like now I don't have a problem with being able to cater there. And I could feel my mom, I could feel her cheering me on. Like, boy, you did.
Wow.
Yes, I feel like
Shae, you keep talking about this cooking now. It's time for you to help.
Yeah. And
I want to know what is, in your opinion, someone who's just starting out cooking for large groups. Let's say you're in charge of the Christmas dinner for your family. You just got married and your husband is expecting you to cook and you don't really know what to do. Can you give them some pointers?
Oh, definitely. Yes. I would say as far as the vegetables and side items, something easy to do. I would say string beans. Can't really, I probably shouldn't give away my secrets, but I'll give you one of the ingredients that you put in string beans that'll make it fantastic. Use some chicken bouillon or chicken broth. And then not only that, use some steak seasonings. Seasonings you use for steak. Put some steak seasoning in there. The powdered steak seasoning. It's been a hit. That's one thing.
You've been over in my kitchen, Shae.
Hey, I'm probably in a lot of yes. And a little onion powder, garlic powder, those basic things. And do you some mac and cheese. If you got three or four types of cheese, you can mix it all in there and give that variety. Make sure you have some sharp cheddar. Don't go overboard with it, but make sure you can taste it. and have, a good balance of cheeses. Those are two great, sides, as well as that cornbread dressing is a must.
Now let me
So
say this, Shae. Let me go back to that macaroni and cheese, because see, don't mess up. Folks can mess up macaroni and cheese. I'm just
yes,
don't
yes.
do that. Don't do that. Now there are
Ask
two
me when
ways
I
to
open
make
that recipe.
it. There's two ways to make that macaroni and cheese. Now, when I was growing up, I used to make it the long version. Okay,
Yes.
you know what I mean, where you take the egg and you
Yes.
whisk it up, and you put your cheese and your butter and your
Oh yeah.
seasonings after you. But please cook that macaroni, y'all. Cook the
Oh
macaroni.
yeah. That buttermilk.
Okay.
And you know what? one great seasoning. I'm giving with another secret, but like I said, it ain't just for me. Put you some either nutmeg or allspice in your in your noodles,
Macaroni.
in your macaroni as well. That takes it over the top.
To another time. But
Definitely
listen,
takes it over the top.
Shae, would you tell someone the easiest one to do? There's another one where you make the sauce and pour it over. But that's not that ain't old school. I'm old school.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely do it I always do it the old school way where you're putting the eggs and everything in it.
Egg in there.
But if you're in an absolute hurry, and if you don't know, yeah, you can get that canned cheese type thing.
It ain't gonna be good. Let's just tell them the truth, Shae. It's
it
not
ain't
gonna be
it ain't
good.
gonna be like what you grew in now. It's not gonna be the same. You gotta put some shredded cheese or get that cheese block, and shred it and put it in there.
And it gotta be some sharp cheese. Don't go tinchy on the cheese. If you can't afford the cheese, don't make the macaroni and cheese.
No, just go to something else.
Leave it alone.
Just go to
Okay,
something
Shae,
else.
we got the green beans, the macaroni and cheese, and what else?
Oh, we got that. Of course, the cornbread dressing. You gotta make that from scratch with making the cornbread
stovetop
first.
stuffing, right, Shae? No stove.
Oh no, you can add some of that stovetop in your mix, but don't let that be the main
in the cornbread.
Yes, not in the dressing.
That's right. My mother would make that cornbread and put that. Now my grandmama made it a different way to my mother. Both of them are good. Okay, but that corn, you got to make the cornbread. Chop your onions. Some people like bell peppers and celery.
Celery.
You gotta have the liquid from the chicken.
Yes.
Now, if you don't have that chicken or that turkey or whatever, you can go buy a canner, but it's not gonna taste the same.
Oh yeah. See, I'll give you a tip. Go ahead and start cooking your turkey first. That way, it'll be cooking. Then you can use that broth to make your dressing.
Yes.
Definitely start your turkey first. And a lot of times, what I do when I'm trying to cooking for a big group or actually a small group, I cut my whole turkey up like it's a chicken. I cut the entire, unless the customer request a whole roasted turkey, I dissect it like it's a whole chicken. I cut my breast and wings apart, my legs apart, all the chicken I dissect it, and I cook it in roast it in the oven or cook it on the grill that way. That way I can season every single piece of it inside and out.
That sounds.
I use that dressing, that gravy and that juice from that turkey. By the time I get to my dressing, I got plenty enough of that to use as my brew, my brew or my broth for my dressing.
And don't let that dressing. Now another key about that dressing. You put that your juices from your chicken, your turkey, in the mixture, and let that stuff marinate overnight.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Then cook it tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
See, we country folks, y'all. We straight from the country.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's exactly how it goes. And with that, you say some of that. If you have enough to make your giblet gravy as well.
Yeah. They don't know what that is, Shae. You got to tell them what that is. It's people opening. They don't know what that.
Yeah.
They open up cans.
Oh yeah, that turkey neck and the gizzards and liver.
Liver.
Turkey, you got to chop it up and use it to kind of start simmering and making your gravy. Put your gravy in there, your chicken bouillon, some brown gravy mix. You can even use Lipton onion soup mix to start making your gravy, and make sure it's not too thin. You don't want it too runny. then you're gonna add your eggs, your boiled eggs, chop them up and put them in there
Got
as
to
well.
have that in there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's like key to that
Gotta have
gravy.
it
That's
in
different.
there. That's
The
it.
egg.
That
Oh
egg.
yeah.
So we got
got
the green beans, we got the macaroni cheese, we got the dressing, and y'all know how to fix your own meat now. I hope.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Shae, this is a problem. Let me ask you about this. Because sometimes I don't want a turkey in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
I might want a fried turkey or a
Yes.
smoked turkey, but then I don't have my juices. So
Mm-hmm.
give someone what could they use instead of the juices from the turkey or the chicken, in lieu of that.
And then in lieu of making, if you don't
Yeah.
have the juices from your turkey or chicken,
Mhm.
chicken broth, Lipton onion soup mix,
And some butter.
brown gravy. Yeah, some flour. Mix your water and flour and your you can even use, like I said, bouillon cube, chicken broth or turkey broth. You can buy that in cartons as well. Even beef broth is a great thing to use. You can use celery salt. Don't use too much celery salt, or any kind of celery seasoning, and make sure you gotta have some sage in there to make your broth, as well as putting in your dressing. So you can definitely use those. But with your meats, to prepare your meats, you can season them a night before. Um, and a lot of times your meats, even seasoning them the night before, will create a little bit of juice that you can use. You gotta make sure you cook it. You don't want to pour raw juice into your mix, and you don't want to hold. I hate to say it, but you don't want to no blood in it either.
Right.
Just make sure it's juice or gravy, or the fat that comes off your meat. But you can definitely make your gravy or anything from that, from those bouillon and the flour. And you just gotta be patient and put your flour and water mixed together. Even use heavy cream or something like that, and milk. You just can't turn it up real high, in the beginning, until it starts to get to the consistency that you want.
Now, so we pointed out everything here, and now for the we didn't talk about greens, Shae. Lord have mercy. However, however, there are ways to cook collards.
Oh yes, I just need some fresh.
Okay. To me, collards are very easy, but there are some people say no, they're not easy.
Yeah.
Growing up, or when I was a little younger, I made collard greens with the fat back, and
Yes.
getting the boiling your fat back or whatever, put your greens in there. However, I have an African friend who brought me some fried collard greens one day.
Oh
I was
yes.
done. I was done.
Yeah.
You understand? I said, tell me how to make these fried collard greens. Now, when I say fried, I'm not talking about with flour or anything. It's really like a sauteing.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now that's how my children and I prefer them. Now, I still like it the old way, but they are good. If they're not cooked, like your grandmom used to cook collard green for 3 or 4 hours, that's not necessary.
No need. Yeah, I was able to experience that actually in a cooking competition. A gentleman right next to me, he was frying the pork. It was like the homemade type bacon.
Yeah.
Had the pork. I forgot what it's called. It's like a skin. But along with that, he had some fried collard greens. So I'm sitting here just baffled. Like, man, how did you get these crispy? How did you do this and that? I left my station and went over there, talking to him about how to, fry collard greens. And so I kind of got a crash course on how to do my collard greens as far as frying them. And not only that, I've actually added collard green salsa to my menu.
That's what you had. That's what you had at my event.
Yeah,
y'all, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. That collard green salsa is no joke. Shae, that is good. It's almost like actually I tried something similar to that with kale, and it was
kale's a good one to be able to.
But we're not gonna give them that recipe. They're gonna have to call you to get that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That
They can call
that's
me.
some good eating.
Yeah. And I've been making a lot of that for the holidays as well.
I know
With the
you have.
salsa, you know, you can have it either hot or cold, so it works both ways.
Mhm. Well,
Definitely works both
Shae,
ways.
I tell you, you have given some. I hope this is helping someone. Um, if not, Shae, do you send prepackaged meal through the mail?
I do. I do complete
Okay.
meals. I do a meal prep. You know, I can cater to any kind of diet if that need be, whether it's heart healthy, gluten free, pescatarian, vegetarian,
Mhm.
traditional, any kind of meal that you would like. I can prepare it for you and ship it to you no matter where you are. All you got to do is, like my thing was, all you got to do is heat them and eat them. So
Eat them and eat.
heat them and eat them. It's just that easy. So it'll be just like we grew up on TV dinners. Now we got the modern style of TV
Yeah.
dinners, and it's coming, you know, straight out of my kitchen here. So I
Well, can
definitely
you
ship
tell the
meals.
audience how they can reach you, how they can order whatever they need to order, all that good stuff?
Oh yes, yes indeed. Well, I still I'll give my email address is Jonathan Brumby 365 at gmail.com. And that's JONATHANB as in boy, RUMBY 365 at gmail.com. And also you can reach me on Instagram at Jonathan Brumby 365. I think is my Instagram. Uh, also, you can type in Chef Shae and it'll probably pop up as well. And even though I'm here in Alabama, I still, you know, hold on to Georgia. So I still have my Georgia phone number. My Athens, Georgia phone number is 706-363-2158. You know, just, you know, give me a holler, shout out. If you want a meal, you want me to come and do a catering, you know, do a speaking engagement, cooking class, whatever the case may be. You know, I'm a chef on the, you know, with wheels. Definitely a traveling chef. And I have plenty of equipment that I can bring with me and, you know, do events on site. You know, to cater to any type of you know, any type of event.
Well, and you know, he's a part of the Connecting Point for Creators group on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yes,
You know, if you matter of fact, I may as well go ahead and talk about that now. It's just a group of creators of all kind, from cooks to hairstylists to visual artists to dancers to teachers or whatever. Everyone's a creator, but it's a
yes.
group of creators, and it's a place where we can network and get words of inspiration throughout the week. If you would like to join that, all you need to do is find us on Facebook, the Connecting Point for Creators group. Send a request to join, and we would be happy to have you. And then you can start connecting with creators like Chef Shae.
Yes,
Okay,
indeed.
that's
Love to
another
meet
thing.
you.
Also,
Definitely love.
what do you say, Shae?
I said I would definitely love to meet the, you know, other creators.
Yes,
I've met so
yes,
many of them. And we've been
other
able to,
creators.
you know, kind of bounce ideas off each other, and
Mhm.
it's a great group to be a part of because everybody's willing to push everybody into their, you know, to their destiny.
Yeah, that's what it's about. We're destiny helpers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would like to be a part of this discussion on the Connecting Point and you want to inspire somebody, help them change their mindset or look at things from other perspectives to transform the world for the better, then you can reach out to me at drmarcyts@gmail.com. You can reach me through the Connecting Point for Creators group that I just mentioned, or just Google Dr. Marcy's Connections. You should be able to find me there. And this show airs on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. on Instagram TV, YouTube. It's on Facebook. I even post it on Twitter now. And then you
Oh,
can
awesome.
also get it on Spotify if you don't have time to watch, Spotify and Anchor. So all we ask that you do is click, like, and share, mainly share, so that
Yes,
others
please.
can be inspired.
Yes, indeed.
Shae, thank you so much again.
Oh yes, oh
I'm
yeah.
proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
looking
you. Same here.
forward to
Same here.
this same time next year with
Yes, yes,
something
yes.
even bigger. How
There's
about that?
no telling where we will be, you know,
No
by then.
telling where we will
Our
be.
empire is steadily growing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So Godspeed, Shae. Love you.
Love you too, sis.
And until we meet again, peace and blessings, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you guys.